Alrighty, good morning YouTube. How are we doing this morning? I'm still having some coffee inside of the herd bus, which we got to get a different name besides herd bus there. Yeah, that won't make any sense at all once the bus is painted. So what we got today, I mentioned the wheel cylinder on the curb side or passenger side or door side, what do you want to call it, on the front was leaking. I managed to get the wheel off of there yesterday, so I've still got to pull the hub off and the drum off and get in there and measure the brakes before a wheel cylinder can be ordered. Apparently there are 3 different styles, and I have a suspicion of which style it has, but yeah, if I don't measure it, I'll end up ordering the wrong one. So they're not very expensive, but I don't want to order 3 and have 2 that I can't use. So also on the list, I don't know if I mentioned the other day, but we got the bus like insanely cheap because well, there were really 2 reasons. One, the brakes, you couldn't stop it. But the other issue that we found out when we got to there to look at it was not only would it not stop, it would not start. So spent a few minutes looking around under the hood, and under the hood the wiring on a bus is, we'll just say it's a lot different than the old Blazer. But anyway, I had a suspicion that it was probably a pretty simple fix, so I took a gamble on it. We pulled the trigger and we went ahead and got the bus. It took about a month to a month and a half with all the COVID going on to actually get the title back. So keep that in mind if you guys are making a purchase at this point. I mean, it took forever. The title was not even in the name of the fellow that we bought the bus off of, so obviously opted to wait until the title was clear. It was from another state altogether. It was from another person. It wasn't even the guy that he had bought the bus off of, and apparently it changed hands a few times before it wound up here with us. So that kind of took a while, but anyway, it was worth the wait. And if it doesn't work out, if it's then it probably not meant to be. So don't just rush in. Make sure you actually own something and the person that's selling it to you actually owns it before you buy it. So anyway, what wound up being the problem with the starting was exactly a simple fix. So this part has been on order since the day that the bus came home, and it is a little solenoid that just mounts up on the engine firewall. So we've actually been starting it by just kind of touching a wire between these 2 terminals right here, and that lets it start, and then you pull them off. So actually I can probably face it the right way. So there's just a little wire that comes up from your ignition switch that turns this on, and when this has, and then you have power all the time over here, so from your battery, and when it senses power here, just a little magnet in here, it slams shut, and it makes the contact and lets power come out of this side, which turns the starter and lets the bus start. And then when you turn off the key, this one loses power, this one, the plunger drops down, this one loses power, so the starter's no longer engaged. So pretty simple fix. This thing local at all the parts stores was about 40 to 50 bucks. I bought this on Amazon, and it was less than $10. So had to wait a couple days to get it, but as I said, my budgets are on shoestring builds, and you save where you can, and I don't mind waiting. We've got a lot of other work to do anyway. So we're going to try to get this put on the day. I'm going to try to get the, like I said, I've already pulled the wheel off. It's just rolled off out of the way. I've got the hub still on the brake drum. Got to pull the drum off and measure, see what size brakes it's got, so what size wheel cylinder get. Probably will get a new wheel seal that goes in there as well, since it's going to be disturbed when the drum comes off. And this is an 81 model bus, 1981. It's almost 40 years old. Matter of fact, January 15th is his birthday according to the build sheet. So on January 15th it will be 40, which is pretty young compared to me. So let this car go screaming by. It wasn't that bad. So anyway, we're gonna get the wheel off. We'll get the ignition fixed. So hopefully she will start with a key. And as far as getting the wheels off, tried just using it's an 1.25 inch nut, so 1.25 inch socket to pull off the wheels on these Dayton style rims. I had about a 2 foot long breaker bar. Tried that, pulled on it. I was like, oh no, I am not as young as I used to be. Quick trip to Harbor Freight. Oh my goodness, 3/4 inch impact. Whoa, this thing is a beast. According to the license plate on the back of the bus, it's not been registered for at least 5 years, so I can't imagine when the last time was. There's a rooster. I can't imagine when the last time was the wheels were actually off of the bus. So yeah, wow, it pulled them loose no problem. So if you guys are hesitant about that, yeah, 3/4 inch cordless impact wrench. So anyway, I'm going to finish up my coffee, get to work on that front brake so I can get the parts ordered on that as soon as possible, and then see if we can't get this thing where it'll start up with a key, which would be awesome to start it from inside the bus. Yeah, it just makes it more convenient. So anyway, let's get started up on that, and I'll set the camera up out there maybe while I'm working on the brakes and do a little time lapse so you guys can kind of see what's going on. Hopefully it won't take me forever, but we're about to find out. Alrighty, I had to switch cameras there. Getting ready to start some rain here soon, it looks like. But working on this front brake on here, and I want to give you guys a look. Apparently, it's chickens. Apparently, it's not the let me get a headlight. Sorry about the camera shake there. Doesn't look like it's the wheel cylinder. I got back in here looking. It's coming out of this brake line. Right there, it looks like where that clamp goes on. This has got 2 wheel cylinders on a C60 front end. So anyway, it looks like it's just this brake line, but it's as you can see, I've been working here. It's kind of wanting to start to strip out, which is a bad thing. So we're going to run in and get some rust penetrant, hopefully, and maybe get a line wrench to put on that thing to make it easier to take off. So that's where we're at. Been wasting most of the day trying to fix that, and well, we're still working on it. So anyway, let's get some rust penetrant and see what happens. Okay, got this guy replaced. That's the solenoid that was up on the firewall there. This is what was keeping it from starting. Brake line, I don't know if you can tell, but right there was a little bracket that held it on the back of the drum. It's got 2 wheel cylinders, and one half of this line connected to one wheel cylinder, one to the other one, and where that bracket was, it made a little rust hole. But after bleeding the brakes, I found that there's another issue with, see, that was the passenger side front. The driver's side rear has also got a leak, so I will have to mess with that later. I'm gonna wrap this video here up at this point, and to kind of get it out there and cut the length down on it. And I'll end up pulling the I needed to take the right rear wheels, both of them, off anyway, because the inner one, the inner tube had slipped down inside the wheel prior to me buying it, and the only way to get that out is going to be to take the wheel off and to break it down, fish the inner tube out. Hopefully it's still in good shape. If not, put a new inner tube in it, and then remount the tire on there and then reinstall everything. So I'm kind of thinking at this point, I'll show you a shot of the undercarriage of the bus. But alrighty, if you watch here, you'll see a drip out of the rear wheel cylinder. It goes drip, and there should be another one about to drip. Drip. So definitely got a leak going on there. Rear differential pinion seal looks like it's leaking. Old leak, nothing fresh. Of course, it's not been driven, so other than just being towed home, but it's kind of sprayed fluid up underneath the bus floor pan there. It's on some of the rubber brake lines. The exhaust pipe is broke loose. That's the tailpipe, and then the kind of another little section there is broke loose in two places there, and then there's the back of the muffler. So that needs to be addressed. It's got an air tank under it. I don't think it's hooked to anything anymore. But other than that, looks pretty good. Fuel filter is extremely rusty, but the 30-gallon fuel tank, it does seem to be dry. That's one of the only things on a bus that's not leaking. So that's good news there, I guess. The brakes have got me a little worried. I don't want to just keep fixing them one at a time and then everything go out. So I guess once I get a better look at the inside of the rear brake back here, we'll see what's going on with it. I may just end up replacing the entire brake system on it, which is really not that much. Not the master cylinder or anything like that, because I mean that's working just fine. But probably the stuff underneath the bus, like at each individual wheel, that may potentially be dry rotted, rubber brake lines and stuff like that. But I really don't know what shape they're in until I can get everything to hold pressure. So this leak in the back looks like it's maybe coming out of the inside of the drum, so that could very well potentially be a wheel cylinder. But the metal line that's on it, the one I replaced on the front, it doesn't look really any better. So perils of buying an old bus, but luckily all these fixes are really cheap. I believe the front brake parts, I had to replace 2 of these little copper crush washers as well. This one was actually broken, it was split. So, but I mean, all said and done, I'm thinking less than 20 bucks, you know, for the parts. So ignition solenoid on this old of a bus, it was less than $10. It was $9 and change, and that was tax and all and delivered. So 30 bucks into repairs at this point, you know, it's pretty inexpensive, all things considered. So and the total amount of parts in that rear drum back there are probably no more than $50 if you replaced everything inside the drum, including the wheel cylinders and the hardware kit and stuff. I'm not sure what the brake shoes cost, but generally most drum brakes, I mean, $30 for at most, I would think, on something this size for the entire rear. So, but anyway, we're going to cut this off, and we will catch you guys. Get you guys on the next video. So God bless everybody. Hit the like button if you like this video. Subscribe would help out a lot. I'm trying to close that gap to 1,000 subscribers. So subscribe would be awesome if that's something that you want to do. And we'll see you guys on the next video.